Hello everybody, I am Louise Eddington. I am the Cosmic Owl, and I'm going to make the weekend video public again because I would like to invite more of you to become Cosmic Owl community members, where you get Patreon only content. It's like works like Patreon basically. You become a member to support my work, and I do member only content. Most of these videos are this way, and once my Venus class and this crazy energy settles down, I really do hope to get back to writing. Maybe I'm going to write today though. Anyway, so but also on YouTube, if you're just watching this on YouTube, at least subscribe to my channel and maybe hit the little bell if you want to get notified when I upload new content, and give the video a like as well if you like the content. It all helps with YouTube's algorithm. You know what these things are like. So let's share the screen. Firstly, happy new moon. The new moon was, what time is it? Oh, it was 30 minutes ago. So right as I speak, the new moon is just separating. The moon's moving away from the sun, but we're on the new moon really, and oh my goodness. So I'm going to talk a few things about the new moon just for you guys. First of all, the new moon, I talked about it aspecting Saturn and Pallas Athena over here in Aquarius, making it very edgy mentally because they're both air signs with a lot going on in the mind. And Saturn and Pallas Athena have just turned retrograde. So we've got that energy as well of them being pretty much just digging into that review moment. So there's going to be an awful lot going in. It feels very bipolar. I put what does good twin or bad twin, which is going to come out on this? Well, it could go either way, and you get to choose whether you step back and not react and things like that, because Gemini can be very quick to react and kind of just go blah. And Saturn, thankfully, that it is a trine aspect, can slow that down a bit. It can give you a feeling of like, okay, let's at least count to 10 before I say something here. But the moon, as we move on, is going to square Mars and Ceres. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But also on this new moon, we've got Mercury that rules Gemini and therefore rules the new moon, and Venus conjunct in square to Neptune. Now, both Venus and Mercury are out of bounds. That means they're at a greater declination, certain above or below a certain declination of the ecliptic, which is the path of the sun. So when planets are out of bounds, they really kind of act erratically and out of character, and a little bit eccentric. And so we've got that fritzy energy as well already in Gemini. It really does feel like good twin, bad twin within us going, and that's happening in the world too. And it's going to start coming out in, we seem to have bipolar news at the moment, and everything feels like very, or even split personality. It's not so much, highs and lows. It's like completely different personalities all the time. So, no, but they're in square to Neptune in Pisces, and that can feel a little bit depressing. The Saturn can feel a little bit depressing too. So you may find yourself going up and down, and kind of all over the place as well. This is really crazy, chaotic energy, and it's taking us into the eclipse season, which is always a little bit more heightened and intense and erratic itself as well. So we're in for a chaotic time. And so I think the best advice I can give is to embrace the chaos, really. So as the moon moves on throughout today, all right, so towards late afternoon, But really be feeling it building all afternoon. This is Salt Lake City time again. For some of you, this might come in your dreams and things. The moon will move on to square Mars and square Ceres. Now, I did a presentation for EA Zoom meetings yesterday for Ceres, and I'll put the link below in the YouTube channel and send it out to my members too. So you can watch that if you like. We've got 4.5 years here about to really change how we live and change how we look at the world and change how we do things. I'm actually going to write an article about it too, because I think I've noticed some very important patterns, all right, for the next, until the end of 2024. But for now, this moon squaring Mars in Pisces. Mars is not happy in Pisces. Mars wants action and it's frustrated. And this could bring out bursts of anger kind of from the subconscious, kind of really coming out. And kind of unconscious biting at people and things like that. It's kind of a bit, it's quite aggressive, and it's interesting. Again, not to try and be political, but it's just in the news. There was an interview with radio host Charlemagne Lagarde, a black radio host this morning, and Joe Biden, and he's okay with it. So we have to be okay with it. But Biden came across as quite aggressive. It's this kind of energy. So, and I've seen that in him before. So it's not really the words he said, so I'm not even going to talk about that. It's more his nature. So if you get a chance to watch the video, it's this kind of finger pointing, kind of look at my record, that kind of thing, you know. And then Ceres is in Pisces is very much grief as well, and loss. And I've tied it into a lot of what we've lost about the lives that were. You know, we can't go back to how it was with because the coronavirus and all the change and chaos in the world. And we're feeling a lot of grief around that. So that's causing a little bit of aggression too. I just got an alert that a 17-year-old boy had been shot and critically injured in the area where I live. And it's this kind of heightened fighting energy, fighting in your head, fighting with each other. So try and stay out of it, really. So that's today. And then we're going to look at the rest of the weekend. Okay. But I felt it was important to talk about this lunar square. We don't have any major other aspects over the weekend until later on Sunday. So I'm going to look at the lunar aspects through Saturday, if I can find. Oh, don't you love it? If I can find my pedestrian killed by a semi-trailer as well. There's kind of all these things just keep popping up. I get like news alerts. I don't know why I get them, really. I should turn them off, but sometimes they're really useful, just local ones. These are. Okay. Just get my calendar. Because then, of course, you know, as we move into Saturday, the moon's going to move on past those squares to Neptune and Pisces. And then the moon's going to aspect Chiron as well. So that's another ouchy kind of energy. Okay. And then the moon is going to conjoin Venus and Neptune and all that kind, and square Pisces. So it's going to activate that kind of out of bounds, eccentric, erratic energy again. So the whole weekend you're going to be all over the place, and there's going to be this tendency to be arguing and fighting with each other, brought upon activated by that Mars aspect, and also activated by when the moon comes in and starts to make these inconjunct aspects with Pluto, and the moon will also aspect Eris, that discordant one. So this is more towards late on Saturday. It really starts to feel this kind of energy again, but all weekend it's a little bit okay. It's a tough one, really, this new moon. It's uncomfortable. In our podcast, I described it as wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. And that's because things don't feel real. Time feels off, everything feels off. It's just chaos, basically. So throughout into Saturday night, you can see that the moon starts to activate all this. Venus and Mercury are separating from each other quickly, with Venus going retrograde towards the Sun and Mercury heading towards Hygeia and Vesta. So that conjunction of our values, heart and mind, really, Venus and Mercury, being together, being in square to Pisces, really going, I don't know what to think and what to feel anymore, really. It will settle down eventually. And then after all that, the moon, I'll get it past Mercury at 5 a.m. on Sunday. The moon went void for a little while, a very short while, actually. And then the moon goes into Cancer, okay? And actually, it says it's void all day. I don't think it is, though, because it's crossing Hygeia and all these things. So let's not say that. The moon moves into Cancer, her own domain, late on Sunday evening, 5:08 p.m. to be exact. And also on Sunday, earlier in the morning, we have Mercury conjunct Hygeia, bringing up the health and hygiene issues again, what we think about. Now we're opening up, listen to the information, take in, filter what works for you, wearing masks or not, or whatever. I'm not going to try and get into all that kind of energy. Then Mercury will sextile aspect Eris. That's discord and chaos, more discord and chaos, okay? And then Mars will conjunct Ceres a little bit before this, so let's get back to that. Okay, that's late on Sunday as well. So that's bringing out more of that anger. Personally, I've been angry about and grieving about being able to trust that other people will be respectful and things. This is not about not respecting their right to freedom. It's about, if I'm out and I'm following the guidelines and things, don't come near me because I don't feel you're respectful. It's not saying I'm going to stop you or I'm going to call you out. It just brings me sadness and it makes me not want to be around people when this happens. So that's how it's coming out for me. It may show differently for you. Okay. So then the moon, as I said, goes into Cancer. And she doesn't make any major aspects at all until early on Monday morning. So I'm kind of going to go a little bit ahead. That Mars, fresh off that, feeling angry, feeling frustrated, feeling anger at what's been lost, at some grief. That Mars will then come up early on Monday morning to aspect Uranus. And that's the other table shaker. And it's not a great start to Monday morning, really. The Mars in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus aspect, emotionally. It could shake food security, money security, that kind of thing. Feel a little bit rattled. You know, it's just got that kind of, again, shake it up energy. And my husband's decided to print something while we're on. So, yay. That's really nice of him. So excuse the printing noise in the background. And I think that's it till Monday morning, really. Then the moon activates Mars and Ceres again Monday morning, adding to that kind of frustration around the 8-degree mark. Okay. Okay, members, I'll be back Monday morning with another video for you. If you're not a member already, please consider becoming a member. Just for $5 a month, you can get more member-only content and support my work. Thanks so much.